Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, America's #1 trusted resource for realtors who demand authentic, real-time coaching. Starring award-winning real estate coaches Tim and Julie Harris. Get ready for unfiltered, full-strength honesty about what is truly working to get you into action and make you money in this new real estate boom. Now to our hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
We're back. Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio. We are your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris, broadcasting live from lovely Austin, Texas. We have a great show for you today. It's a real drill down, a focused approach to helping you guys understand what we have learned to be, frankly, the most important thing that you have to, and I get it, begrudgingly accept is required for you to be successful. And I say begrudgingly accept because what we're going to share with you today is literally not just counterintuitive nowadays, but it's also against a lot of what all of us have been taught. You know, if you've been reading books, if you've been reading motivational posters, if you've been in any way tuned into sort of popular culture for the last 30 years, which is all of you, then guess what? You probably have not been told, well, not probably, you have not been told what we're going to share with you today. And in our opinions, after having had literally hundreds of thousands of coaching calls and been lucky enough, honored enough to help many, many agents become very successful, we are 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt convinced that this one important thing, if you don't know it, if you don't accept it, if you don't live it, if you don't embrace it, and most importantly, if you don't practice it, you'll always be struggling, not just in your real estate business, but in all aspects of your life. So that's going to be your cliffhanger for the topic today. But before we get to it, we have some shout-outs to some of our great coaching clients. Julie and I were just talking part of the radio show. As you guys hopefully know, we have a coaching organization, and we have a lot of coaches that work for us, and a lot of coaches have a lot of coaching clients, and it's so much fun talking with the coaches about the success their clients are experiencing. It's incredibly rewarding. I used the word honor before, and that's really truly how we feel. It's such an honor to be all of your coaches. So, Julie, you had some stories set aside that you wanted to share with our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. Two quick stories. One is kudos to everybody on our private Facebook page because there were actually two great referrals where I think there were 3 coaches involved and 2 agents involved. One was to Torrance, California. The other one was Castle Rock, Colorado. That's not uncommon to see on our Facebook page almost on a daily basis. So keep up the good work taking good care of each other with these great referrals. We don't charge you guys anything. You guys do your referral fees between the two of you, or however many of you got involved in that Torrance and Castle Rock deal. You find each other via the Facebook page and tighten that relationship. And so thank you for reaching out to each other. You're all being rewarded for that. So do be active on the Facebook page. Also, there's lots of great motivational stuff from the coaches. So next is a story about what we lovingly have nicknamed our recovering REO addicts. We have a great one of those whose name is Richie. He lives in Colorado, and he's being coached by Robert Shantz. And Richie is turning the corner on getting away from REOs and getting more into the traditional stuff. Now, he just had a great expired victory. He communicated via phone 7 times. Now, this is under the category of never give up. So Richie called this expired 7 times, wrote 2 handwritten notes, and sent a CMA and sent it over. What was the result? He took the listing at full commission and got a $60,000 price reduction. So that's a pretty awesome victory, don't you think?
It is. It's fantastic. And, you tying those two things together, it's great to see the coaches interacting like you were just talking about on that private Facebook group with the clients. Now, unfortunately, we have a very small percent of our clients that are actually on the private Facebook group. So for all of you out there that are clients who are not on that group, you need to, it's basically Tim and Julie Harris Real Estate Coaching. You can find the private group. And just if you've been sent invitations to be part of it, and if you can't find the invitation in your email because it gets sent through Facebook and it may have been sent to spam, just hit that little request button and we'll get you in the group provided you're an active student. So definitely want to get on that group. It's really kind of creating a life of its own, and it's so cool to see. Julie, I'm just remembering some of the things I read yesterday, right? So one of the things that we offer as far as our coaching organization is we offer a pre-listing pack. It's done for you basically, and it's copyrighted, it's unique. It's one of those things that once you get it, once you start using it, you're conversion ratio on listing appointments goes through the roof. But even beyond that, you have all sorts of confidence, and you start wanting to go after sellers. You start wanting to go after all kinds of opportunities, and you finally are fully embracing the idea that being a listing agent is the way to go in real estate. So I'm seeing agents, it's almost on a daily basis, where one of them finally gets the PLP done, one of them finally gets to use it for the first time, and they're like, holy tamale, this is so much easier than it's ever been before. All the questions, all the worst-case scenario things in my mind of what a seller might say, or what I might say if a seller says this to me, all the why would I list with you, all the, why should I pay that commission, all the normal sticky stuff that come up in a listing appointment are already covered in the pre-listing pack, making life so much easier. So that was just one of the victories that I enjoy celebrating with coaches and our clients, of course, when they start actually realizing that when you treat your real estate practice like a business, it really can scale into something truly remarkable. Now, speaking of something truly remarkable, Julie, I read a lot of great stories on Inman Select in the past week as a result of the Inman Connect event in San Francisco. And, I say this virtually on every call, and you guys got to be real clear about this. You have to assume that if you're going to be successful in real estate, another one of the things you have to do is be getting your information from the right sources. And I appreciate all of you being listeners. I appreciate all of you entrusting us to helping you, frankly, take advantage of this great real estate market. But for added information, you definitely want to be a subscriber to Inman Select. The stories on the front, in front of the paywall, if you want to call it that, on Inman are fantastic. But the best content on Inman, no doubt, is when you are becoming a Select member. So if you're not doing that, have not done that already, definitely tune into that. We're huge proponents of having a media-free life. And we're going to, we talk about that probably on every third radio show, literally not watching the news, not reading the paper, not really allowing your mind to be subject to all the sort of garbage that is in the media. Well, if you're going to choose sources of information, definitely Inman Select would be top on my list. And, of course, though this is a little self-serving, I'd also suggest our radio show. So, Julie, without any further delay, guys, listen, it's really critical that you get what we're going to be sharing with you on today's radio show. Our coaching clients, you've heard us say this before, and Julie and I had the epiphany that we need to actually drill down and help you guys to apply this. So everyone, please, and I mean this with all sincerity, if a lot of you listen to us every day, we have tens of thousands of daily listeners. This one point is perhaps the most important thing that we could ever pass along to you, and hopefully you find useful. Okay? So here it is. Ready? And then Julie and I are going to break this down and make it very practical for you. So it's one thing to say it. Okay, it's one thing for you to even conceptually understand it, but what Julie and I are going to do is we're going to break it down so you can actually apply it, so you can make money, help others. Okay, so here it is. Your long-term, ever-increasing success comes down to one thing. Please write this down, guys. It's doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. Your long-term, ever-increasing success comes from one thing: doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. Now, so I'm going to break that down, and then Julie's going to get to the individual points that she and I created for you. Number one, I said your long-term, ever-increasing success. That is counter to what a lot of us believe. Many of us believe that you have good months, bad months, good years, bad years. Why? Why is that? Why have so many of you decided to make that true? It's a choice. Long-term, ever-increasing success comes from doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. So accept the fact that your life can continuously get better. Accept the fact that your financial situation can continuously get better. Your success can increase. Your income can increase. I said that already, but it's, that's what we're all about, helping you guys make money. Your lifestyle can increase. The love in your life can increase. The sense of happiness and peacefulness can increase. You don't just plateau. Why would you think that? So long-term, ever-increasing success comes from doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. Now, I know that's not a sexy point. You'll never read that on a poster that anyone's selling at home at Office Depot, right? You're never actually going to see anyone even have the guts to say that in front of a group of people, because it's anti-motivational, because everyone wants to believe that by jumping up and down and, beating your head against the wall, that somehow you're going to, round the bend. Now, the truth is, with lots of energy and enthusiasm, and with lots of short bursts of massive amounts of effort and energy, You can experience success, but remember the first part of what we asked you to write down, long-term, ever-increasing success. So if you're just doing things short-term based purely on energy and enthusiasm, or desperation, as is the case with many agents, right, then what's going to happen is you're going to have peaks and valleys, not just in your income, but in your life. So the problem is that when your income drops, oftentimes what also happens is the quality of your life drops. You basically don't take care of your health. You are not necessarily going along with your family members at the same level because you're living a life of scarcity, of not enough money, right? So all these things are part and parcel. If you focus on the finances and where your business coach is, you'll find that all those other things in your life almost miraculously align themselves so that overall you have this remarkable life that maybe you didn't even think you could ever have. So Julie, anything else, or you just want to jump into the points?
Well, the myth is that you have to feel inspired to be able to do your best work, and if you're not feeling inspired today, well, it's just going to be an off day and maybe I'll feel it tomorrow. Well, the fact is that if you go through life like that, working when you feel like it or only working at your highest level when you feel like that, that's the exact thing that causes cash spurts. It's the thing that all agents complain about all the time. Working even if you don't feel like it and doing it at a high level is what causes cash flow. So that's the thing to get really clear. And you're right, you're not going to find that on a motivational poster because, it requires work. It's not that, inherently inspirational, I guess is what I would say. But it is a fact and it's something to embrace because it's the only way to get to cash flow. So let's jump into our point.
Right?
Yeah.
But
it is honest. That's the fact.
It is honest. Yeah, it is honest. It's the fact. If you guys have ever accomplished anything meaningful in your lives, it was after you put in a lot of effort. Think back in your entire life. You'll find that anything that was really, truly meaningful that you've accomplished in your life was a result of a lot of sacrifice, was a result of a lot of work. I don't know why we are being trained or people are trying to lead us to believe that you could snap your fingers and basically all the stars align. I don't know why our society has gotten away from hard work being an admirable quality, characteristic. I'm not really sure why that's happened or how that's happened, and frankly, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is if you embrace this one concept, you guys will have everything start to change around you quicker than you actually think. So point number one is stay in your 3-foot world. Control what is immediately in front of you and around you. Be the best at what's happening around you. Now, this is from Mark Owen. You guys will know the book No Hero, The Evolution of a Navy SEAL. Definitely recommend reading it. And here's what he says. Only focus on your 3-foot world. Focus on what you can affect. Staying in my 3-foot world became a mantra for me. It is liberating once you let go of the things that you can't control. So that's the essence of it. So literally, what's physically around you in your own 3-foot world is all that you can actually truly affect. Think about that for a second. It's liberating. It does make you feel less burdened. By doing so, by not worrying about anything outside of your actual 3-foot, this isn't some sort of, mindset thing, guys. I'm talking literally. Mark Owen is talking literally. What's around you? What's in your 3-foot world? Focus on that. That means that you should allow your mind to no longer swim in the waters of worry. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Just stay in your 3-foot world. Focus on being present in your 3-foot world. And then immediately what's going to happen is you're going to become much more effective, which leads to our next point, Julie. Point number 2?
Point number 2 is to have 3 to 5 strong daily minimum standards and stick to them no matter what. Again, our theme, doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it, but also at a super high level. So just stick to 3 to 5 daily minimum standards. In real estate, this means basic dollar productive things that you do daily, no matter what, as your primary job. This should always start with lead generation and lead follow-up because nothing else really matters if you don't have that under control. But other powerful daily minimum standards, calling a minimum number of past clients or people in your sphere, prospecting and following up with a minimum of expireds or unrepresented sellers, like our example earlier of what Richie was doing, 7 contacts. That's probably more than most agents would do, but guess what? He got the listing, full commission, $60,000 less. What about writing 5 thank you cards every day, no matter what? Following up on 100% of your leads. That's something I'm particularly hard on my personal coaching clients about. You should never end the day with leads that you haven't followed up on. I mean, how can you possibly complain about not having enough consistent business if you're not calling your leads back every single day? It just doesn't make any sense. So adopt 3 to 5, no more than that, strong daily minimum standards and stick to them no matter what. And I always make the example, we all follow some daily minimum standards naturally. Take a shower, you brush your teeth, you do certain things, and you don't even think about it anymore because you're being so habitual about it. So do that in your business as well. Point number 3, and this is an interesting one, absolutely no multitasking. Real estate is fraught with people attempting to do that. Well, multitasking just means that you're attempting to do many things with none of them being executed at the highest level. So you're doing kind of a crappy job at a lot of stuff at once. And in fact, I researched this. Psychology Today said that a lot of neuroscience research says the brain doesn't actually multitask at all. We just switch tasks quickly. Every time you move from hearing music to writing a text to talking to someone, there's an actual stop and start process that happens in your brain, but that stop and start process is really hard on your brain. It doesn't save time, it costs time, it's less efficient, you make more mistakes, and it sucks up your energy. So knowing this, what are you supposed to do about it? Well, simply switch tasks efficiently and focus. That means focus on one course until successful. Use a timer to get things done faster, but at a higher level. So say you're calling your self-prescribed daily minimum standard of 3 past clients. Focus on that until it's complete. Maybe that means you have to dial 12 times to get 3 people, but you'll have done it. You'll have done it at a focused high level using your script. Does that make sense, Tim?
It does. And by the way, it's follow one course until successful, right?
Yes, thank you for fixing
no
that.
problem. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and so that's the thing. If you multitasking gives me stress, right? And I imagine it gives everybody stress because then your mind is having to constantly go from one thing to another. So become a list maker. Become somebody that basically starts writing things down and then just focus on one thing at a time opposed to trying to do multiple things. Don't see multitasking as an attribute. It's not. It just means that you're not 100% focused ever on anything. And the problem is that then starts working its way into your life. So, you're sitting there on the beach with your family and supposedly having fun while you're, surfing the internet and you're on the phone and you're texting somebody and
well,
you're
honestly,
actually...
multitasking is rude if you think about it. It just is.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, keep going, Jules. We're on point number 5.
Point number 5. I'm sorry.
5. No. Are you? Yeah, 4.
It is 4. It just looks the same.
Sorry.
Okay, plan is the point of this one. Plan your 3 to 5 daily minimum standard items ahead of time. If you're calling expireds, use Mojo Cells, for example. They make it so much easier for you than looking up every phone number by yourself. So if you're calling expireds, use Mojo. If you're following up on your 800 home hotline leads, make sure your script is out so you'll actually use it. If you're visiting new construction to see builders or new build reps, have your list out. Map it ahead of time. If you're pursuing unrepresented sellers, have all of your pre-listing packages in your car ready to go. So when you plan for success, you're so much more likely to actually do those things that you have claimed are so important to you and to stick to those daily minimum standards. So plan to execute on those things. Then point number 5, go ahead,
hold
Tim.
on.
Sorry.
Let's just do a quick reel in. So remember, guys, what you're doing, what you don't want to do, when you don't want to do it at the highest level. The plan for success point and these other little sub-points are because oftentimes when you wake up in the morning, how often do you honestly feel like doing what you don't want to do at the highest level? Mm-hmm. For me, it's pretty much never. But what I do is I get into the cycle of doing things. I start doing the things I know I'm supposed to do every day, and what then happens is my emotional state changes. So you guys, when you're, for example, if you have everything organized ahead of time, if you've got your mojocells.com dialer ready to go, then guess what? There's one less thing for you to think about. It just becomes habitual. That's how you actually make it so you're no longer dependent on your natural, normal energy ebbs and flows. You just get in the pattern, in the habit of doing things. And then remember, guys, when you do wake up in the morning and you don't feel like doing what you don't want to do, when you're not feeling all that motivational, when you're just feeling maybe a little bit more introverted than you normally feel, that's normal. But what is abnormal, especially after you've been exposed to information like this, is for you to allow your future to be subject to essentially that temporary feeling. So do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. And we are moving on to this one's a lot of fun. Point number 5. I'll read it, Jules, then you can give the description. Make your working and this is actually, I really like this point. Julie and I thought this up actually this morning. Make your working environment into a time machine. Go ahead.
You enter into it, and you're in a different zone. You have dream boards on your wall to stay inspired. You have pictures of everything important to you, quotes that you love, music that keeps you motivated. If you're living with goat paths through the clutter, take a day or two to fix this, okay? So when in doubt, throw it out. Make sense? And you guys know who you are, because we have the coaches ask you for before and after pictures of your clutter-ridden, if the fire inspector came in, you'd definitely be busted for that type of stuff. And you guys always claim the same thing, I got to keep everything forever, blah, blah, blah. So make your working environment into a time machine. You enter in it, and you're in a different zone mentally, physically, emotionally. You are in dollar productive mode. So look at it as a time machine. And if it doesn't look like that right now, take steps this afternoon to fix that. That's great homework from today's radio show. Go ahead.
The time machine idea is that when you walk into your office, and you should all have an office, you should all have some, and I put quotes around this word, sacred working environment. The time machine idea is that the pictures of what you want to accomplish are around you. So the pictures represent your future. Okay, the pictures could be vacations. The pictures could be a new house. The pictures could just be whatever motivates you. So when you walk up to your desk, when you start engaging in the actual work that is necessary for you to be successful in this business, you want to be surrounded by what you want your future to look and feel like. Get it? That's the time machine idea. So your actual working environment, if it's full of clutter and crap, you're essentially going to manifest clutter and crap going forward, because after all, you're never going to clean up your office, right? So create an environment that is exciting, that when you're there, when you're at your desk, and you're looking over and you see that picture of Tahiti, or you're seeing that picture of that new car, it motivates you. It excites you. Now, you should have your goals, and you should have your specific production stuff up on dry erase boards. Coaching clients, make sure you use the business plan that we create for you in the Real Estate Treasure Map, which, by the way, if you guys don't have the Real Estate Treasure Map, our book, no problem. We'll give it to you for free. All you've got to do is request a free coaching call at freecoachingcallsforagents.com. And when you do so, not only do you get the Real Estate Treasure Map, but you also get Think and Grow Rich for Real Estate. So you get both of those books, digital versions, emailed to you. So it's a no-brainer. Another side note, my sales manager asked us to tell this to you guys. Coaching. We do have coaching programs now. Our Breakthrough Coaching Program, which is our most elite coaching program, which is if you choose to pay, if not use our financing, it's $1,000 a month. Okay, but if you decide to finance, you can actually become a coaching client for as little as $175 a month. And we've set up the financing so basically everyone can get accepted. It makes it so that a lot of you were on the fence about actually getting into coaching. Well, now you can fully embrace all that coaching has to offer. All of you by now know that pretty much the top agents in the country have a coach, and obviously there's a reason why, because it keeps the train on the tracks. So next point, Julie?
All right, next point is point number 6, and this is a fun one because it's so easy. Be media free. Remember, there is no HNN, Happy News Network. That does not exist. So no excuses. Thank you. No excuses. I wish there was. It'd be kind of fun. But, there's no excuse to watch or listen to or read the daily drama. What does that do? Do you feel better when you watch that stuff? I don't think so. So create your own news through the work you're doing at the highest level, even if you don't feel like doing it. Write your own story. Make your own news. It's so much more fun to do it that way. So remember, no Happy News Network. Once that comes out, you're allowed to watch it. Until then, be media free. So point number 7, Tim, and I love this because it is so effective. Track everything visually. Oh, but I have a spreadsheet. I don't care about your spreadsheets. Don't just put it into your computer where it's out of sight, out of mind. Use your whiteboards to track your leads, listings, buyers, pendings, and year-to-date closed. Coaching clients, you know exactly what we're talking about, and you know how well it works. You can't hide from the numbers. The visual accountability eliminates the whole getting ready to get started to someday feel motivated phenomena. Spreadsheets do not do that for you, okay? So take number 7 very seriously, track everything visually. And then point number 8, we talked about this on a whole radio show, so if this is an issue for you, we've got a whole dedicated radio show you can go re-listen to. The point is to eliminate toxic people and things which do not support your goals. The more you generate, the less you have to tolerate. So surround yourself with roses, not with roaches. It's okay to have a closed-door policy to your time machine. People don't have to come in and interrupt you and, suck your energy. So eliminate toxic people and things that do not support your goals. And point number 9, Tim, be relentlessly accountable to your goals. If posting them isn't enough, hire a coach to hold your feet to the flames. It's normal to need a higher level of accountability to reach higher levels of success. That's why Tiger Woods has a golf coach. He didn't start winning tournaments and then go, oh no, I don't need that accountability anymore. No, he actually kept on upgrading his coaching. So once you're reaching your goals, go ahead.
We need to update the Tiger Woods thing because he kind of sucks at golf now, but
it's probably because he switched to the wrong coach. I don't know.
We need to get a more modern sports star to talk about coaching, but we'll work on that. Okay, yes. And then point number 10?
Yeah, so point number 10 is to have a regular starting and quitting time. This is something that's actually a very big point. Have a regular starting and quitting time and actually eat lunch like a normal person. Realtors think it's some kind of badge of honor to walk around going, oh my God, I work 75 hours a week. And guess what? The agents that say that usually are the least productive. They also say, well, I had to skip lunch, and then they have pizza at midnight, and they wonder why they're 50 pounds overweight. It just means you're disorganized and a train wreck if that's what you're walking around thinking is how you're supposed to be. If you're not controlling your time, someone or something else will always do that for you. So show up on time, stop on time. Now, for added accountability, have some fun with this. Have lunch with past clients or people from your sphere so you're maintaining a normal schedule as well as creating referrals. The lunch date will hold you accountable to doing both. Make sense?
It does. And guys, the bottom line is that you can control your success. You can make it so that you're no longer mood or market dependent. Isn't that kind of the mindset that I only can achieve when I feel like it, or I'm only really productive
when I'm inspired.
When I'm inspired. Or my favorite is I have to feel passion or be passionate in order to be successful. None of those things are true, guys. They're absolutely not true. You do not need to have passion to be super successful. You don't. Don't believe it. It's not true. Trust me, it's not true. I promise you it's not true. And so many of you guys who are beating your heads up against the wall, blaming your lack of passion for your lack of success, you need to just let that go because it's just a myth. Why? You don't have to have passion for doing the work every single day. Let's be honest. Much of what we do in real estate stinks. It's not fun. Very rarely are people really appreciative. It is what it is. It's the career that we chose. But the reality of it is you can have passion for what comes as a result of you being successful. The occasional appreciative client, the money that comes, the lifestyle that comes, the feeling of accomplishment that you have from having built a really terrific business. Have passion for that. But don't think just because you don't have passion for the industry or the business on a whole that you can't be successful. Don't use that as your excuse. And when you hear somebody say, I'm really, really passionate, don't make the connection that, well, if I just had their level of passion, I could be successful. That is just an excuse. So, guys, listen, doing what you don't want to do, when you don't want to do it, at the highest level is I think, at the end of the day, the one thing that once you start embracing that at the highest level, once you start living that, having the mental tattoo of that, everything will change because you will finally have that sense of freedom and control that really, frankly, is what you've been looking for all the way along and being, I'm guessing, why most of you got into real estate in the first place. It comes from that. Guys, if there's anything we can be doing for you at any time, always remember we will do I'm reading my notes. Okay, good. I'm saying we have to wrap the show. But listen, anytime we have to do anything for you guys, coaching calls are always available at freecoachingcallsforagents.com, freecoachingcallsforagents.com. And like I said before, when you request a free coaching call, we'll give you a copy of the Real Estate Treasure Map and our book, which is Think and Grow Rich for Real Estate. It's an updated real estate-focused version of Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Guys, listen, we love helping you in any way that we can. There's still plenty of time this year for this to be a fantastic year. Request a free coaching call.
So like a lot of you, our business is growing quickly. I mean, matter of fact, since the beginning of the year, we have added between coaches and salespeople over 50 people. And one of the constant challenges we have is, like you, communication. So how do we all keep in contact with each other? We have actually upgraded our entire systems to VTech phones. Now, I personally was very fearful of getting into the whole, figuring out what phone system to use. And I was very tempted to even do what a lot of you are probably doing, just say, well, the heck with it, I'm just going to go with the cell phone and use that for everything. But unfortunately, cell phones have a lot of limited use. The dropped calls, the receptions, the audio quality, all that good stuff. That's the reason that we are looking for a really great solution, and we went with VTech phones. And now the wonderful thing about VTech phones, and I'm going to give you guys some more specific information about that now, is that they're just so easy to use. They're just plug and play. You don't need an IT guy. You don't need to call out, your phone guy. It's simple. It's an elegant solution that all of you need to seriously consider, whether it's just you and an assistant, or it's you and your team, or frankly, the VTech 4-line small business phone system might even be perfect if you are working out of your house and use it as your home phone. VTech's new 4-line small business phone system is the perfect solution for small business owners that need to install a phone system that has the qualities and features that they have previously only been available for companies with bigger budgets. The new system is the most affordable and easy to install 4-line system on the market. The 4-line small business phone system components include the main console and the optional expandable cordless desk sets, cordless accessory handsets, cordless headsets, and speakerphones, allowing the system to grow alongside a business up to 10 extensions. The VTech 4-line small business phone system components are available in stores and online at Office Depot, Office Max, and Staples, as well as online at vtechphones.com.
This program has been a presentation by Tim and Julie Harris, Real Estate Coaching. For more information on our real estate coaching and training programs, visit our website at timandjulieharris.com. Remember to tune in weekdays at noon for upcoming shows, and until next time, thank you for listening to Real Estate Coaching Radio with Tim and Julie Harris.